identifies the unprecedented and dramatic reductions in public education from state resources. Because our general state aid was assisted with the federal ARA Recovery Act money last year to the tune of nearly $1 billion, and that is going away, we have no way to replace that. In fact, our losses of revenues are so significant that we're looking at a $1.3 billion reduction in support for public education, including general state aid, special education, things like student transportation, and all the grants programs, and the public universities.
What's the total pie on that? Is that like?
Public universities, we're looking at $94 million loss. The rest is all in the K through 12.
And so that brings it down to like 6 billion instead of 7 something?
I think we'll get to the exact number in just a second. Let me finish the PowerPoint. We'll come right back to that question.
Yeah, that's pretty close to right.
Yeah. So those are summaries of the budget cuts that are built into the budget proposed by the governor tomorrow. We will have then the next pillar of recovery, and that is strategic borrowing. Here I want to point out that Susan from Peoria wrote into the website, "We have not been paid for the last 4 months. Predictions are we will not be paid for another 2 to 3 months. We're a nonprofit agency that cannot continue to borrow to make our payroll and pay our vendors." As Governor Quinn said last year, Illinois should not be a deadbeat payer. We need to pay our bills. Paying our bills to our providers includes small businesses, schools, universities, nonprofit organizations, all manner of vendors. We've got to figure out a way to move on. Strategic borrowing has to be in our arsenal of tools. Borrowing helps ensure timely payments. And we'll just provide one brief example of how this can work. Last week, the General Assembly approved a $250 million borrowing package for the Health Care Provider Fund. When we get that money in a week or so, we're going to pay off Medicaid bills. We will send the voucher showing that we paid those to the federal government, who in a few days' time reimburses us 62 cents on the dollar. When we get that reimbursement, we're going to send checks out to other providers who we still owe money to, and then we'll send the documents to the federal government, who will give us another 62 cents on the dollar. And that movement, which is something we need in the Illinois economy, will yield, in this case, at least $650 million. Strategic borrowing needs to be part of the package of ideas. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Let me just finish the last pillars, and we'll have opportunity for each of these. The federal assistance is the final pillar. This is where Illinois money goes to the federal government, and we need to continue to compete for those dollars to come back to Illinois. As I mentioned, the education increase in the ARA monies will expire on June 30th. We're going to lose in the coming fiscal year $1 billion or more of what we had last year. When Governor Quinn and I were in the meetings of the National Governors Association, and they were all engaged with the White House and members of Congress, it seemed clear that though the White House would like very much for Congress to continue the federal assistance to education through the ARA, that the Congress is not there. It doesn't appear to be happening. We did not build into our budget dollars from that source. We did, however, build in to the budget a 4 quarters receipt of the 62-cent match. That's the higher than normal match for Medicaid. Normal would be 50 cents. the federal statute does expire on December 31st. Many states have built their budget around 4 quarters of increased match, not 2. We also did that. The reason we did that, there are very strong signs from Congress that they will do that. Strong signs are not a guarantee of money in the bank, but we built that, just like other states, into our budget. I want to note that though we are a finalist in the race to the top competition for education dollars, those are not dollars that can backfill the hole. Those are dollars for education reform initiatives for our most vulnerable students. We hope to win monies. We are a finalist. 41 states put in proposals. We're one of the 16 states that is called to the final round, and we'll be sending a team to Washington, and I believe next week, to do interviews with the federal education department.